Hello and welcome to Abundance Mindset. I'm Vinney Chopra, and this podcast is all about one simple truth. Abundance is not luck. It's mindset. I came to United States with just $7, big dreams and plenty of uncertainty actually. No connections. What changed my life wasn't just real estate, business or investing. It was learning how to think differently, act intentionally, and believe in abundance instead of scarcity. This is not just about making money, it's about creating freedom, impact, and a life of meaning and joy. Whether you are building a business, growing your investments, or simply looking to live with more confidence and clarity, you belong here, literally. So take a deep dive, take a deep breath, open your mind, and get ready to step into life of abundance, possibility, and purpose. Welcome to Abundance Mindset podcast show with Gualter Amarelo and Vinney Chopra.
For everybody who doesn't know, Vinny Chopra came into this country with $7 in his pocket. He
Seven.
built a
Oh,
company in
seven.
real estate. Seven. I don't want to give it an extra dollar.
I know. What's going on today?
And what was interesting about Vinny is he went and raised $220 million, bought
Yes.
over $1 billion of real estate. He's done everything from single family flips, duplexes, to multifamily complexes, senior assisted living, large senior assisted living, over 80 units, hotels. Now you're doing a lot in hotels. You've even done
Yes.
little RALs, converting like 10-bedroom houses into house for seniors. You've
Yes.
done memory care. Vinny, you've done a lot of things. Over 30 businesses. We can go into the AI last week where we talked about
And
all the different
invested into
AI
other
stuff.
things too. Marina. Remember, we bought the marina. We
Marina,
got a
you recently bought a
restaurant.
marina.
Yes, and then we have mobile home parks. One of my student, Dylan Marma, I shout out to him. He's also bought lots and lots of mobile home parks, and I have invested in many of them. And then storage units with another brother, and then that way, and startups and all those kind of things. And now the AI bubble. It's going to not. It's not a bubble. I've been watching Davos, like they're in Switzerland, all these different interviews and everything. It was so much fun to watch them with the NVIDIA CEO and BlackRock CEO, all their interviews last night. I spent 4 hours just watching as if I'm there in Switzerland with them.
The power now of what we can do in business, right? So you've done it in many different businesses. It seems like everything you touch wins. And
No.
I think it's because you understand something about marketing. Today's principle we're going to dive into is building a contagious culture inside your marketing. Why is it that most companies don't succeed? Most companies are led with the entrepreneur, right? The E myth. I remember Michael Gerber talked about this big get the seizure. I can be an entrepreneur. I can do it better than somebody else. But
Nice.
this operator doesn't seem to really have a business. 3 years into the business and it falls apart. 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Your businesses all succeed, Vinny. So what is it you think you're doing differently than
Majority
these
of them,
businesses?
majority of them. I would say we try to build the company, a service company, or we buy a product, we buy real estate for certain business plan in action. We think through and we say, you know what, we're going to increase the rents or we're going to take care of cut down the expenses. That's all it is. We're going to increase the revenues. We're going to use the parking lot in this hotel. Nobody was charging money. We're going to charge some money now because most of the hotels upscales are charging $30-40 per night from the guests, and they are rich people. They pay for it. You have to park your car, it's valet or self parking. When we went to Hawaii, we had to pay $40 to park the car ourselves per day. The key thing is you figure out how to increase the revenues. Revenues don't increase by themselves. You
No.
got to do the marketing. You got to sell the story. You got to have the smile when you tell them that you got to pay for the parking lot and why. And then you also use the enthusiasm. So, smiling, enthusiasm, energy with the team. Who is going to tell the customer, the tourist, this is not me, right? Not my regional manager. So we need to have the leasing people or the people in the front, I call it. They are the most valuable team members in any part of the company where
Hold
they
on, Vinny, say that again, because I have a company that I acquired. I didn't acquire them through a traditional means. I hired them as a consulting firm, and
yes.
now my portfolio is larger than their portfolio. And
Mhm.
so I tell them like I acquired you guys, and now I'm doing things and shifting things. But one of the things I found early on that they've shifted and changed was they were front led by operations. They were front led by maintenance, by turning units, by the draw schedule. They weren't led by marketing. They weren't led by leasing. And what ended up happening is we had a lot of really nice units that were not filled up instead of really full buildings that are also really nice.
You got to do simultaneously. I'm
Yes.
glad you brought it up because you got to really be pumping from the leasing people. Essentially, if you have even more units to occupy, you might need two leasing people or three leasing people, and they all need to be on the sync with dealing with the prospects, dealing with the leads coming in. And as the turning of the unit is happening, we should be able to keep those units the minimum time vacant. I just
Yes.
used to tell my teams, hey, every unit that's unoccupied, we lose $22.50 a day or something.
Wow.
You take the whole month's rent divided by 30. It's
Doing
not.
it now. Doing it as you speak. I'm going to do that math.
Yeah, look at that. These are my C class, C plus B. If it's $1,700, let's say, or let's just go to $700. Easier,
Vinny,
right?
I'm doing 750. I'm doing Cleveland math
750.
right now. It's
750
$25.
divided
Yes.
by 30. It's what's that?
$25 a day. You're right. It's
$25 a
750 divided by
day.
30. Yeah.
$25 a day we are losing on every unit that's not has the resident inside. So that's what we need to talk about with the leasing people, with everybody, and have incentives. And their whole pay structure should be based on not only hourly work, but bonuses. And they
Yes.
need to be really smiling. I just said that even a couple of weeks back too. If they're not smiling, if they're not getting up from their desk as the lead comes in, a prospective person is coming in, their job is to do look and lease. Look, take them to the. I remember the time when my leasing people would show up there to the office early. They'll put balloons from the office to the model unit or whichever unit they were going to show. They'll turn on the lights. Oh my gosh. And they make sure that the lock is
Heat turned up, lock
unlocked.
locks. Yeah.
Oh, it's so horrible to
Don't
take.
show up to a unit where the lock doesn't open.
That can really be the demise of the whole, because what they're looking at, the prospective, and we talked about the poles, right? Right opposite, just outside in the parking lot, next to the leasing office should be future
Yes.
resident parking. Beautiful pole. I used to have them very ornamentally done. You could buy them at Amazon, other places. Great American, I think, products is also very big one on that. But the big thing is you got to treat the leads as God. Guests, their guests are God. So you give them the best experience of curb appeal, parking there, going into the leasing office and getting a big smile from the leasing manager or the assistant manager or the manager, everybody. If there is a maintenance person smiling, you got to give that feeling, hey, this apartment complex is different. I went to another one, I went to another one. That was not the energy I wanted. But this positive energy is very contagious.
This is powerful, Vinny. So we're talking about a contagious environment in your marketing because it can't be you. The best salesperson in any company is usually the CEO. It's usually the top. Let's
Oh,
say you get to 200, 400, 500. You had 7,000. What is it? How
yes.
many units at your peak were you
I think
operating?
at the peak we were right about 7,600. Then we went to 8,000, but then we sold it quickly like that. But
You
right around there.
touched 8,000. You just
Yeah.
touched it and he said, okay, we're selling back, but you were over 7,000 units. That couldn't be Vinny Chopra standing there, standing at
No.
the desk saying, come on, let's go take a look. Let me unlock the door. This is
No,
good. The
no,
heat's been
no,
turned
no, no.
on. So how do
You
you
know, I
create that
used
culture? How do you
I
get your
used to.
leasing team so excited?
Whenever I traveled, I used to travel 3 or 4 times a year only, by the way, because most of our business was done through Zoom meetings, through Skype, through meetings at that time. 20 years I've been in it, right? But everybody had to be fully dressed up. Every webcam has to be open. I used to buy the best computers, brand new computers for all my new acquisitions because I don't want anybody to not be presentable. And we know as we are 6 people in the Zoom, then we'll have shorter meetings, half an hour, 45 minutes with the KPIs, and then we'll talk about training. I included the training in these sessions, and then some of the good leasing people would script and recite right on the Zoom meeting, and we'll record it. And then those were the teachings that other leasing people really led. When I would travel, I'll take camera with me all the time, I remember, and do some role playing. Role playing is huge
It
because
is.
if they don't know, then you need to teach them. And that's the key to success.
How often were you meeting with your leasing team?
Leasing team, oh my gosh, every week, every week.
Every week.
Oh my
Every
God,
week.
no, no. With the KPI meeting of 1 hour, we had allocated time to look at the rents, how many leases we did. We had a whole Excel worksheet back then. Then we got into a rent manager, we got into Appfolio, we get into Yardi, all these different things, right? But the big thing was we need to look at each aspect: marketing, leasing, number one, orders, how many work orders came in, how many got handled, what's the 30-day notices, 60-day notices, and 90-day notices, what's
Yep.
the delinquency, all those factors, 5 or 6 factors, we would talk about it every week, every week. And
So
then
one of the questions I have for you, Vinny, because this is unique. It's like scaling yourself. So you have this meeting. Now, after the meeting, people go back to work. They go back to their normal lives. You got leasing agents who maybe fall asleep at the wheel. They're not posting on Facebook. They're not doing their
oh,
job.
oh
And
yeah.
the week goes by and the week goes by and the week goes by. And you're not seeing the numbers. What do you do to create a culture that they come in, they're hired for a certain role? Do you tell them I want 20 units filled a month and they're filling 25? How do you create that culture inside your sales and marketing teams?
Beautiful. I think that's very good point. We need to have from that KPI meeting to another meeting, follow-up meeting, where the whole subject is going to be how to lease up. What should be the script? How could the body language make a difference? What are the specials? What's the price list? What are different things? Why are we not getting or closing ratios are low? So we need to pinpoint and let them come up with the solution. See, as a CEO, I could just interject, but what I learned was show people how to fish rather than giving them the fish all the time to eat. No, let them fish, let them understand what we are trying to do, and then give them time to learn and rehearse. You see, you got to rehearse in front of the mirror or rehearse with the manager. Leasing person should be talking, or two leasing page people talking to each other and getting better for next day and next day. What will happen if they are not doing it right? The results will show.
The results
That's
will
the
show.
only way accountability comes, with the results.
Yep. And so what
You
was
got
the
to
compensation
inspect.
package? So we
We've
pay a
got to
base
inspect.
salary. We pay a
Mhm.
base salary. We provide commissions every time they close as well.
Right.
Uh, what are other incentives? Because those are financial incentives, right? The high fives. I know that's a really important part of culture. This
Mhm.
meeting seems like a place where whatever leasing agent leased the most, you obviously might congratulate publicly in front of everybody. Is that something you guys would do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always, even plaques and things. I remember we don't manage, we manage the managers now, the
Right.
different companies now because of smaller portfolios and all. But the key thing is, even the small victories need to be acknowledged. And that's who can really do that is the assistant manager, community manager, regional manager, who is there. We used to have asset managers, so 4 levels. To have 158 people, you got to have hierarchy. So that's how we had it. And then the key thing was every person is a part of a bigger team, the vision. And then we have to let them know also for stabilized apartments, it's 90% occupancy and more. And we want to be in the 93, 94, 96, 97. If we are 100%, we are wrong because then it's too cheap. When we say our apartments are 100% occupied, meaning our rents are low, or we are accepting not that 2x or 2.5x their income, the qualifications, all that, right? So you got to be really looking into the nitty gritty, who is coming. And you don't want our residents to leave after or skip. We call it skip, where they just leave overnight and haven't paid the rent for 90 days. We used to have them, quite a few, by the way, but we changed the culture. But you got to do it one piece at a time. I know it's a big subject.
It
That's one
is.
thing not taught in the internet and other thing. I wanted to write a book. There are books, by the way, apartment management, videos are there. I remember I used to figure out or find some cool videos which are available on YouTube. And the ones I liked, I would show them in our meetings, literally. Third party selling is the best way. So people can actually emulate and say, hey, that's not coming from Vinny. These are the best practices coming from other professionals who have put these videos together.
Vinney, Chopra, you just gave me a tool that takes me 5 minutes to put together. I go and shop the internet, put it on a Word doc, put it in a blog, and I send this to my team and say, hey, here's somebody else telling you what to do. I
Yeah.
love this. This is amazing. In fact, Vinney, so you know, I'm taking this whole interview with you right now, and I'm sending this to my sales manager saying, here's how you build a culture. This is very, I love being able to do these topics with you because it's very relevant for me now. I have 400 units and 150 vacancies, and I'm
Oh,
like, I want
wow.
this team to go and do the
150,
work.
150. Oh, wow. Wow.
150. And when I
No.
started, we had 250. So
All right.
we're
Bless you, man.
progressing, but I'd like to go faster.
Faster. Yes.
And it's like
Yes.
you said, we lost tenants. So we were losing tenants at a rate of almost 15 to 18. So we go and we put 30 in, and it wasn't enough speed. And when I started looking at the numbers, I said, we need more juice
Oh,
here.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now you hit something really good. See, sometimes pressure or by other things, the leasing people try to bring marginal residents. And that can really be not good at all. If you bring 30 in, 16 leave next month and they didn't pay the rent, it's a losing proposition all the way around. So we want to really make sure that we set standards who we let in, even though it's slower, but then you got to watch the trends. Trend is your game because you
Trend is
do
your
not.
friend. Yep.
Yeah, you do not want, and every week should be looked at. How many came in, how many went out, why they left, what happened. We used to have full explanation on every resident who left us, or they had to give us notices like 30 days, 60 day, 90 day. The manager told us, and the leasing person will tell us this is what is happening. They're buying a home, or they're moving back with their family. Some or their job, they lost their job, whatever.
Those are
So
the good reasons. That's what you want to hear.
yes,
The other
it,
ones are like, we can fix that. We should go fix that.
totally, totally. The big thing is you got to keep this culture, and the culture will come from the right community manager. I always used to say community manager or regional will be higher, asset will be higher than that. But community manager used to be, or community director, manager, director, same thing. But she or he was the top person in that apartment complex. So everybody reported underneath and all that. Their mindset, their thinking, their enthusiasm, their vision needs to permeate it down to the staff. Now, I remember we used to have high HVAC tech, right? Lead tech and a porter, we call assistant as a porter, Porter. Now they would start from one side in the morning before the office opens to clean up any rubbish and paper and all that from one side of the property. And the porter went from the other side and they met right in the middle to make sure that the property looked clean every morning.
Every
Ups-
morning, your
Every
maintenance
morning.
team would go out and clean the property.
Yes,
Yard,
sir.
hallways,
Yes, sir.
outside. The first
You
hour of the
got
day
to.
is clean presentation so that leasing has something to work with.
Something to work with, and the curb appeal and the signs should be straight. Sometimes I traveled and things are up. I'm an engineer, mechanical engineer, so I always like things vertical or horizontal like that. But the biggest thing is you're inviting future residents, so the property needs to be presentable. That's the thing. That's the big part. And then having the marketing team have a powwow, get together in the morning and think about aligning, just like Miracle Morning. We do it for ourselves in the morning, chanting and this and that. I'm not saying that, but the key thing is to have a meeting with the leasing and the community manager and the HVAC people in the morning. There needs to be one. How so that everybody is able to really get excited about the day. It's a new day. We did okay yesterday, or yesterday was bad, or whatever it was. But today is a brand new day. And we got to set expectations and feel good about making things happen today.
This is powerful, Vinny. My leasing manager is going to thank you so much when I send this off to him. His name's Victor. He was at the summit. He got to meet you. And I know when he sees this, he's going to say, yeah, if maintenance went and cleaned around the building and the hallways before I showed up for showing a tenant, it would just eliminate so many problems. Because I keep hearing in those reports of why the tenant didn't like the apartment was before they even got there, they were complaining about trash outside, trash in the hallway. So Vinny, it's embarrassing for me to say that's a real thing
No,
happening in
no,
my
those
portfolio
are
right now.
reality.
But
These are realities, brother. I've been there. I've seen all these, the cobwebs and the lights not working in the hallways, all that. It wouldn't be overnight. But what we need to look at is when the path of a future resident, where will they come drive in? Where are they going to park? And where they going to go to see their apartment? So we need to be sure that we clean all that passage to the so that the resident is able to, because if other sites we have doing renovations and construction, all that, of course they see that we are doing it good job, and now they're going to rent and lease this particular unit. So actually, I remember my asset manager, Patty, God bless her soul, she taught me so much. And she was Dave Lindahl's right hand person. And she's Ginny Orlaski's sister. And she worked for me. She passed away, but she was one of the best proponent in Houston. And she managed my assets and she built my manual and everything. Oh my gosh, that's old memories coming back. The key thing was, she says, Vinny, each unit of the apartment is a unique experience for that resident. Actually, you could charge, every unit can really charge different rent. Every unit. And now with AI and everything, it's happening also. If the view is there, if it's downstairs, if it's all that, if the swing pool is there, I mean, the sun is shining, coming this way, all those things. So you can make each unit very unique.
Appfolio has it. It's called, I can't think of the name of it, but it's like the select sync tenant sync leasing or something where it
Oh,
literally
okay.
it
Okay.
it slides the price based on what the
Yes.
market's telling it about the unit. Yeah, it's
Use
very
that, by the
interesting.
way, we use that all the time in our apartments, whatever we have left now, because AI is the best way. It's the supply and demand. And then, of course, we are able to, it's all automated. Same thing which hotels have been using it all the time. 5 different pricing, depending on the time of the night and day and so forth, and how much earlier and all that stuff.
So powerful, Vinny. I appreciate this. If you were to give me one more advice, a piece of advice, knowing we got a lot of units that we still got to go fill, a team that is only now getting the leads. I had to go and I had to do a lot of work on the leads on the backside. How do I keep their energy up? As I'm pushing them hard, we're filling units. Maybe the unit turn team isn't quite giving them what they want right away. How do they stay yelling, being the loud voice that says, "Hey, I need this unit better. I need this unit better. I need this unit better." And also being positive in front of the customer and saying, "Yes, it's going to get done." How do we give them that culture of wanting this company to win, wanting to see these buildings back to full communities?
That's a good point. Rome was not built in a day. I always say that. It's a team effort. It's a team effort for the renovation team who's taking care of it and they inspected it, maybe something they missed or whatever. But the key thing is both of them need to work hand in hand, and one cannot yell on the other side because they're doing their best. And then the maintenance supervisor or somebody should really look at the roadblocks, why it's not getting renovated. Maybe it's impossible. They're doing the best they can if the interior renovations. And as they come due, they could even have list of which units are easy turns, which are harder and which are farther down. So that
Mm,
way those units can be segregated, and then the leasing people should be able to then lease the ones that are coming online first. So there could be a hierarchy. Both the teams need to work together so that ultimate goal is the same. It's the apartment complex. We want to get to 95% occupancy. But how do we do about it is by teamwork. And then celebrate pizzas or donuts or anything, right? They don't cost much, but celebrate, I think, once in a while, maybe every other day, maybe and on Friday, something to do special, for the teams, both the teams, and then make sure that they understand, hey, we are trying to do everything possible. Hopefully bottlenecks are taken out. The second thing is on the leasing side, they're working very hard and working with their full potential and learning the tricks, because not every leasing agent is the same. The key thing is memorizing and having a standard SOP, standard operating procedure. What should be the protocol of a resident walking in? And everybody needs to really apply that. Getting up, smiling, shaking the hand, asking them few questions. And guess what? They are the same questions, because people, when they come in, they are looking for a nice place to call their
yeah.
home.
Nice place to call home. The questions are you ready to move in now? Are you ready to sign the lease? So are
No,
you
I
ready to
mean,
move in?
yeah, we would love to really show you this is a great community and our new ownership, new management, new attitude. We are renovating units, so you'll find as I show you the unit, it's going to be really nice. And I hope you like the location and everything. So, are you ready? Have you been looking at some other communities? You got to pre qualify and try to, it's not like closing is like a gate. If there are 4 or 5 gates, you got to close each gate. And then the last one is not procrastination, but making a decision. And that's you do it by look and lease. We have a special going on. We got the Wheel of Fortune, whatever. Remember, we used to have gifts and all that stuff. There are different ways to do it. But the big thing is you got to be always thinking, always be closing, ABC. You got to be always closing, but ask them questions. What brought them there? Did they look at the marketing? Did somebody refer them to them? So those questions will tell us a lot about their thinking. And then, of course, you're looking for 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom with 2 bath, what size of family, all this. I'm not saying anything different. We could even just find the best of the best 5 questions by asking Gemini. And Gemini is going to list out even better than me, because that's going to pull out a lot of good information over the internet and concisely put in those questions. And then we could share those questions with leasing people so that they understand these are the questions I need to ask.
Vinny, I couldn't stop you. We were supposed to cut off 4 minutes ago, but you just, that last 4 minutes, I'm copying that straight into the chat with my team. This is content for me for my sales team all month long. Next 90 days, a heavy lease up. We got out of the holidays. Christmas is over, New Year's over, and everybody's got their checks for rent, and now we're just driving them into buildings. Vinney Chopra, if you got value out of this, if you learned something from Vinney, there's a lot more to learn. He's got his website up, vinnychopra.com. He does a training. You go to vinnychopra.com/events. He also has books. He's written out 4 books. If you want to learn more about his books, get some free books, go to vinnychopra.com. And if you want to learn more about the 100 millionaires and how we're building millionaires, go to ibuildmillionaires.com. We've built over 40 millionaires over the last 6 years, and we're looking to build another 100. And who build 100, who build 100, who build 100. We do this every Thursday. It's Abundance Thursdays. We start at 12 p.m. EST, 9 a.m. PST. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you so much.
Love you, brother. See you on the next one.
Thank you. See you. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. I hope this episode gave you insight, clarity, and encouragement as you continue your journey towards building wealth, freedom, and long-term impact. If you found value in today's conversation, please subscribe, give 5-star reviews, and share this episode with someone who is serious about learning, growing, and investing smarter. Your support helps us to reach more people and bring them into our show. Before we wrap up, here is an important reminder. This podcast is for educational and information purposes only. Nothing shared here should be considered investment, tax, or legal advice. Every investor situation is different and unique, and decisions should be made based on your personal goals and circumstances. I strongly encourage you to consult with qualified professionals before making any investment decisions, including experienced teams like Monili Investment Group, along with your CPA, attorneys, financial advisors. Thank you again for being a part of the community. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building your wealth with intention. See you in the next episode.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Gualter Amarelo. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.